Good morning, everybody. So today we've got a Freightliner Cascadia. This is a 2011, but the principle is still the same. We're looking for an air leak. We know where it's at. It's a manifold or a pass-through air situation. Now this is where it's located. So there's a few things you're going to need to remove. That's why I'm showing you this panel. I'm going to swing around, and over here, right behind your brake valve, all those little lines that go right in there, okay, those tend to leak. I'll show you the new part in a second, but I want to get you an idea. Okay, so you've got a couple panels to remove. One panel here. You've got a second panel just behind the accelerator. What I like to do is, this is a little hard to see just because it's an uncomfortable spot. Okay, there's your manifold. These are all the lines and the sensors. There's only 4 sensors: a brake sensor, 2 service brakes, parking brakes, and a couple things. So just remember the order that you take them out. Okay, the lines are pretty easy because the lines are all color coded. So take out the accelerator, and then a couple things you're going to need to remove that. You're going to need your torx T25. You're going to need a torx, hope you can see that there, a T40. Your ratchet, maybe a little drill there to kind of get everything out. And again, I like to get the accelerator pedal out. There's 4 screws that hold that, and then up underneath, that's where the fun begins. Video is going to be kind of short and a little awkward, but I'm going to do the best I can to hopefully show you guys how to remove it and how to install the right. So now that we have our accelerator pedal removed, it gives you a little more of a clear path, a little clear access to the lines that we're about to start removing. Again, air lines. So what I like to do is I like to start removing these lines first. These are for your pressure sensors. See, you can see they're actually tagged already from the factory. Service brake, there's another tag up here, parking brake. So you really can't mess it up. Just take it out, put it back exactly where you found it. These are the 2 that are the same as far as your sensors go. But again, go like for like and you'll be just fine. One thing that's gonna help you is you are gonna need a flashlight so you can get up in there and see what, essentially what you're gonna get yourself into. You can see right back in there. Sorry, again, not the best picture just because it's in a very tough spot to record this. Now these fittings, all you need is really, they're kind of a push-pull. So when you push this hose, when you push this hose in, you hold this down and that will release. So again, you're pushing in, holding this down, holding the collar down, and then you're gonna pull this out. Again, it's a push-pull design. That's pretty much gonna be the same thing for all of these, going all the way. Another quick thing I forgot to mention is these lines, okay, once you figure out where they go, they're pretty simple. Again, this one goes at the top sensor. You have the service brake, and you have low air 1 and low air 2, which is essentially for your low air gauges, which are going to be just over there to your right hand side, or depending on where they are in your truck. So if you remove all those this little pigtail, that gives you a little more clear access to get in there and start removing the lines. And again, they're all color coded, so you really can't mess it up too bad, but take your time. There is a screw here, a little I think it's also it's a torx. It's right back there. Okay, you need to remove that. Once you get everything out of the way, remove that last bolt or screw, and then the actual manifold will let you come out and remove it and put the new one. Here's our old manifold that we're going to be replacing right now. As you can see, this is the inside underneath, right by the accelerator or the pedal. This is the outside. Now you're going to notice this does have some holes that are drilled through. Now those are some of the lines that go through directly from the firewall from one side through the other. These are your sensors, okay? And again, each sensor with each connection, or each has to be specific. So your low air 1, low air 2, your brake, and then another brake. So make sure that these are all the same. Again, low air 1, low air 2, brake, brake. Make sure you put them all back the way you got them. These, be careful, these little plastic studs. Freightliner does sell some replacements for them, but these do break, so be very careful. They do need them, okay? There's one on this side, which we just installed, this little red one. This is the newer style, and that little black plug is the older style. This is what it looks like once you've taken everything out. I'm gonna show you what it looks like on the other side. And here is the other side, what you're gonna see. Again, these are all the lines that are gonna go in or through, or essentially from one side or the other. So that's what you're looking at once it's been removed. I'm going to assemble the new one. I'm going to show you what that looks like, and then we're going to put all that you're going to be needing for this particular, pass-through panel, what they call it. It used to be called a manifold, now it's a pass-through whatever. They changed the name, they supersedes or something else. Anyway, so this is it, Alliance. Here's the part number. There's nothing else on this particular box. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. That's the new part number. Make note of that. And again, I do believe it's the same part number for all Cascadias. The only difference is how you're going to actually be setting up these little holes that are right there. See how they've been drilled through? Okay, and here is our new manifold. As you can see, looks like Freightliner may have done some changes to it as far as where these sensors are going to be installed, and everything else is the same. I do believe it's the same part for all Cascadias. So there's the new one, here's the old one, okay? If you get confused or you're not sure, one by one, swap them out. Remove, install, and do the same process for all of them. One other thing I wanted to show you is a little socket you're going to need to remove these sensors, okay? You don't have to have it. I'm sure you could use some pliers or a wrench or whatever the hell you got. This is what I picked up at a local parts place, really inexpensive, just because I'm not going to be using it for anything heavy duty. It's a 1 1/16, fits perfectly over that sensor. So when you remove it, and it gives you the room, so you can use the other high impact ones, but the wall on these is a lot thicker. Again, literally fits right in there. It's a deep socket. See, works. So now we've got our new one almost assembled prior to installing it. Now I'm going to leave these two sensors for last because I want to have a little more room to install these other lines. Okay, and then when you're going to have to pass these other lines through, you want to make sure you have enough room. So I just leave that for the end. Again, if you've got the socket, which is this one here, deep socket 1 1/16, you can install those sensors at the end, and that'll give you that space that you're going to need. Again, this is going to be up underneath, so room and space is limited. And again, those are the holes. We made those. You can just do that with a regular drill bit. Again, be a little careful. Don't go too crazy on that. Other side, that's what you're going to see on the engine side. So let's get this installed, and I'm going to install this into the truck. And I wanted to show you something, a little heads up. So this is what you're going to see, or more or less, this is what is going to get installed on this side of the truck. Now, one thing you need to look out for, I don't know if you can see that. See that little lip, that little notch? That's what sits right in there. Okay, so make sure you install that, and then kind of like a door hinge, hang it up and then push it on up to where it needs to go. So again, remember that little extra piece there. A little something to help you guys out. Most of the times, these lines, you can see right there, most of the time I should say, not most of the times. See that little increase, that little indentation? What happens is once you install it, it'll actually still leak. It's not because it's defective, it's because this little line isn't creating the proper seal. Grab a small razor, maybe cut that little tip off about 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch, and then reinsert that, and that should eliminate that leak if you still have one. So again, it's kind of your call. You see that? Again, that crease can sometimes cause a leak. So just now that we've got this installed, there's a few things we need to do, and what I like to leave for the very end, sorry for the shaking here, is I'm going to leave this for the very end, which is where the last two pressure sensors go, low air. Again, you have two of them. Doesn't matter which one goes where because they're both the same. What does matter is the connections. Low air 1, low air 2. And then you connect the final 3 lines, put your accelerator back, start the truck, and test for any air leaks. So I just wanted to show you that. And again, I leave that for the end, those last two. You can do it all at the same time. It really doesn't matter, but I just do it just because you need to have that extra room, and it really does help.